Welcome back to Satisfactory. In the last episode, we talked about drones. I showed you a guide about drones. Don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see this. And today we're going to do nuclear. At the end of the last episode, I also showed you that why are we going to do nuclear? Because look at this production and consumption chart of electricity. Earth consumption is very close to Earth production. And something very funny is that at the same time, I saw a post on Reddit of somebody asking, if you have 12,000 megawatt of electricity in Satisfactory, is that going to be enough for the end game? And this is exactly what we have right now, right? So clearly this is not enough, but don't worry, in this episode, we're going to explode this. We're not only going to double it, we're going to way more than double it with nuclear. I'm going to show you the most efficient nuclear factory you can build. It is welcome to the most efficient nuclear factory you have ever seen. This is the entrance on one side at least. Actually, let's look at the map. We are very far from where we started, right? We started on this side of the map in the desert, right? We are now completely on the other side of the map, on also a desert, to be honest, but a completely different desert, right? I chose this place for a couple of reasons. We'll talk about them, very soon. But as you can see, yes, we are over here where you have the uranium very close. There is actually also caterium and copper very close. And we're gonna also move all the way over here where there's a couple of other, mines that are taken, right? So first, let's look quickly over here at what's happening. I mean, we have the uranium just above me. Make sure it doesn't, create too much radiation for me. We are walking downstairs. We have over here some ladder if we want to go up, but no, I think we're gonna take the hypertube because it is pretty far. You're gonna see it is very high. This uranium is quite hidden, pretty high, but yeah, there is the ladder over there, and there is uranium going down. So we have arrived not so much to the top, but almost, right? We can actually go outside here if you want and see we are indeed very high, and we can see part of the rest of the factory over here. But yeah, first let's continue checking this. So we have the uranium there, right? And if we go inside here, you see this is where the mine is. I'm not gonna go too close, even if we have, of course, over here, our bodysuit, our hazmat suit, and we have, where is it? Here, we have one iodine infused filter. Definitely would need more, but I've been using quite a few. We can also go up, to see it from top. I've basically encased this uranium in a big concrete block, right? Because you don't want this radioactive level to escape. So yeah, there's a big concrete block right over here. And also jump, so you can see from the outside, right? That's the top here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And as I said, you can see below the rest of the factory. I'm not saying it's the most beautiful ever. If you know my series, you know that maybe I'm not doing the most beautiful design, but I can guarantee you it is super efficient. You can barely see it from here, but every single one of these manufacturers, of these constructors, refineries, they're all green. This is working at 100%, and you're gonna see it is making tons of energy. Now, making tons of energy out of what? Out of this uranium, obviously, and I said we shouldn't go close, but actually I'm gonna go close to show you exactly. We're talking about 150 fully boosted, right? It's a impure but fully boosted. So 150 of uranium. Can you guess how much energy we're gonna get out of this? Put it in the comments below and see at the end if you were right or wrong. So anyway, we have over here, right, the uranium, as I said, and it's gonna go down. So let's go down with it. We don't have over here, an hypertube because it's going down by a lot. But we have the ladder, and we can also, of course, jump. So it is going down, right? Following this all the way. You could have potentially, done a different logistic over here. You could, I don't know, have a train or something. But the reality is, be it a train, be it, a truck, you would still need somehow to compensate for all of this elevation, right? Like for a truck to go from here all the way over there, that's not going to be easy. You could also do the drones, but I don't really like to do drones for big quantities. So no, we're just doing, in this one, there is basically only belts. You're gonna see a lot of belts, but only belts. Oh, and the night is setting on my factory. Don't know if it's gonna make it more beautiful or uglier, we'll see. But yeah, over here, again, the uranium is coming down. Going in here, we have this skin or pattern, sorry. Right, this is this pattern over here. Full or half, to say don't go there, this is dangerous. If I'm here, I'm fine. If I'm here, I'm starting to have a radioactive level, so not good. But yeah, we can stay on this side. We have another factory over here that we're gonna check in a second. that is going to start making, as you can see here, a lot of resource. This is quick wires, right? But also we have the cables, we have the copper wire and copper sheets. So I think you can guess which resources I'm talking about. But yeah, here it is. This is a mini factory. I'm gonna go first to the back here. So you can see one of the mining resource. So it is, this is copper. It's not a very advanced one either. We're talking about 300 fully overclock for Manor Mark II. So this is really not a lot. But yeah, it starts going into this factory, but it doesn't go alone. There is also water that is coming from down. Let's go quickly with it. Yeah, so it's a very simple one. You will see there is one. One of these water extractor fully overclocked, but still it's only one. With the pump, of course, because it does need to go pretty high. And it's not just one pump. I'm pretty sure there is at least 2 or 3. Let's see if we can see. So there is one there. There is one here. And there's one here, one there. So I can see quite a few pumps. But yeah, it's a simple, production just on the water. We are completely at the edge there, right? So we have the water goes up and arrives here. This water and this copper, right, it's going to be merged together. We see over here the copper being split on both sides, and we have the water coming up to be at the top, or to be at the same level at the refineries. So water is here, and then these ones are bringing the copper. This is the refinery with the alternate recipe for pure ingot. Now you don't really need this, this is not going to change anything in terms of the efficiency of uranium, the 150 uranium to how much electricity, but of course it does help to use less copper to make as much copper ingot as you can. So this is why I've been using it. We have the copper and the water to make a lot of copper ingots. This is, of course, what's coming on the outside there, right? 1 and 2. And again, it's not the prettiest ever, but I did try to put pillars and things like this to support, to make it semi-realistic. We have, for this copper, we're going to do 2 things with it. We have 2 lines, one line on this side and one line on that one. The reason we have 2 lines is because, if you look at this, it's 37.5, and there is, I think, 10 on each side. Right? So this is already 375. If you take 375 also on the other side, that's going to be a bit too much for our belt. So that's why we keep it in 2. We also keep it in 2 because we're going to need to do 2 things with this, like 2 completely different things with this. So that's why I'm separating. But anyway, yes, we have over here, as you can see, a smart splitter that says first go here. And if you're full, you can go there. So the reality is we're making a bit more copper than what we need, but it is always working at 100%, right? You can see it over here, 100%, because we have this awesome sink. So anyway, part of it is going upstairs, as I said. The other part is going that side with some assemblers to make quick wires. This is also, again, an alternate recipe that is not necessary per se for your efficiency, but it does help to create more quick wires with less caterium ingot. And there is only one caterium mine in, in this biome over here. So that is why I did it. So yeah, we're taking, as I said, caterium ingot and copper. The copper comes at this level, the caterium on the bottom level, and with this we're making quick wires, which are going all the way up to where we started. Right, this is where we started here. Maybe while we're here, actually, let's continue to check this out. Yeah, so we have the copper that is coming over here. Yes, copper ingot is coming over here. And it's going to be going into a couple of different blocks like this. This is my blueprint, right? You may remember if you press F and then R, you will see the blueprint. So this one is doing the copper sheet. We are doing, 80 of copper sheet here. Then here we're doing wires. And here we're doing, this is wires, sorry. A lot of wires. There is one that is overclocked because this was not enough actually. And then part of the wires is actually going, onto the belt, onto the bus, if you wish. And just 2 of them are going here to make some cables. And then the cables are also going onto the bus. Right? That's what we saw there. But the quick wire, I didn't show you how exactly we're making the caterium. Right? So the caterium, let's go down to this door here. Oh, I lost a lot of my health. So we have over here the caterium that is going up, remember? Right, there's a door there if you want to see on the other side. This was the copper mine, and if you continue inside, this is where we are making this caterium ingot again in the same sort of type of production. It's a refinery with an alternate recipe, but you don't need it, right? This is just to get more caterium ingot out of the caterium ore by adding some water. So doing the same exact thing where we have the water at the same level, because you don't want to have to push the water up every time. And we have here the caterium ore that's coming from downstairs, and then the ingot, merging on the side with, oh, I just realized I forgot one belt, sorry about that. So these ones were not working 100%, I'm guessing. This one is, well, maybe many of them actually were. No, this one is not, for example, you can see. So this was because I had just forgotten this belt, but now it's gonna be working fine, all good. So we send it over here, and if it's full, it can go here. This is overflow. In terms of the water, it's coming from just here, very close, right? And actually the mine is also very close, it's behind this. So we have a bit of water that goes into this pipe here, and we have the miner that is inside this box, right? With some entrances all across as always, goes over here, and it's gonna go up inside. So that's the idea, right? We have some pillars to support. Here it is the production, right? The copper, the caterium that goes up. So pretty standard, but just wanted to make sure to show it to you. And again, I'm not saying this is the most beautiful thing ever, but I do think it's realistic. It feels good. It feels like it's in a working condition. So yeah, we have already started to make quite a few resources, right? Thanks to all of this, we have already 4 resources, and that's going to join our uranium. We have our uranium on this side, and now on the other side, we're gonna have these 4 resources. So this is what you can see over here. Making also some bridges so I can walk, from one side to another. Of course, you'll take a bit of radiation, but then you can go away and lose it in a sense. Continue, right? The same resources going. It's pretty far distance, right? We have already made all of this distance. We need to make a bit more to go to this one here and also to go to this one there. And if we look at the map, you can clearly see this is the iron. There is also sulfur I didn't talk actually about, which is a bit over there somewhere in the back. And lastly, there is something that was coming from here. So what could it be? Well, let's go check that first, I guess. Let's go check that first. Flying, I shouldn't put my parachute, but anyway, it's gonna take a second. You can see actually already probably this is quartz, right? So but there's no mine of quartz over here, right? The mine is actually very far away, right? So how are we coming from here? Well, you'll see it in a second, and as always there is a ladder. Well, let's go down on our own. We're very close to the water once more. I mean, we should be able to see the other water extraction somewhere over here. But anyway, the quartz, as you can see, is coming from this small hole here. Oops, so I don't know if I can fit actually now that it is working. I could fit through it before it was working, but now I'm not even convinced we can get in. Damn. I'm gonna have to do this for a second. Okay, go back in. Let's put it back right away, otherwise my nuclear facility is going to have a problem. But yeah, we follow, this, and we're gonna get into a pretty beautiful place. So give me 1 second, because it's worth seeing for sure. I did see at one point, I think somebody made a magnificent factory inside this place here, and it was just crazy seeing how beautiful it was. But for me, as you can see, this is just one long belt. And you're gonna ask me, why did I ever do this? Well, I didn't really have a choice, because all of the entrances or exits, if you wish, oh, there's a spider following me, of two spider, of this mine are actually pretty far. Is you dead? I think so. So it is. We have arrived to the actual, mine. We are over here. There is another one here. There is some ore, and there's another one, in the back there. And there is 2 entrances. There's one entrance on this side. Let me show you quickly. And basically, you will arrive over here. You will arrive there. This is a pretty easy entrance to find, because people tell you just go next to the coal. Yeah. But let me show you quickly where this is. And it is, as promised, this is the entrance, very close to that coal. And now if on the other hand you decide to go the other way, you're basically going to arrive all the way here, where it was very, very far, especially from the sulfur, and the sulfur is needed for nuclear. So, oops, sorry, spider. So this is why I chose this third option, which is this way over here. We can go a lot faster now because we can follow the flow of the belt, and it's a belt Mark 5, so I can guarantee you it's going fast. There it is. We're getting there. Ooh. That's a fun ride. And done. We're here. So it's going up, right? And obviously we're going to do the classic stuff to transform into the silica. This is this one over here. And again, as always, I'm putting a bit more over here because this is space resource. Don't want to waste it. So what we need goes here, and the surplus goes into this awesome sink. And then we're also going to make a bit of quartz crystal. Quartz crystal, why? Because we're going to make here some crystal oscillators. And you may remember this is quartz crystal, cables, and reinforced iron plates. So the cables, obviously the cables, we made over here, we're starting to bring them. And the reinforced iron plate is actually coming from the other side over here. So we'll talk about that after. But yeah, this is making us some crystal oscillators. So we have silica and crystal oscillators on this side. Actually going over here, you can see them. And so yeah, before we see what's happening with it, and you may have tried to count how many of these we have. I can guarantee you'll still be surprised by the amount of electricity because this is not just normal production. But yeah, on the other side, we are producing the reinforced iron plates, but we're also producing those rotors, and we're also producing steel pipe. We're using, again, this alternate recipe for steel pipe we've been using in a couple of other episodes. If you don't have it, I mean, you're just gonna need to bring some coal, which you have on this side and on that side, but it's gonna make it slightly more complex. Okay, so it is. We are arriving, at the copper, I was going to say, not copper at all, at the iron factory. So the iron one, you could also try to get some water, for example, from over here. There was so much iron that I didn't even try. You have 3 mines over here, or 3 miners. You can overclock them each. So here it is. They're all here going into this, and then it's gonna go here into those elevators, right? We have staircase as always. So let's take it, and we're gonna see what we're doing. So it is. Here are the 3 of them. First one goes here, second, third. So what does that mean? Oops, sorry about that. This is a glass, transparent glass. I thought it was open. This just go into the normal smelter because again I didn't bring some water. So it's 30 to 30. Here it is. Very long, and we're basically making 2 of these. Alright, and they're going down here. I should probably have put the stairs there, but that's okay. We have one here. So let me show you what's happening downstairs. So it is. These are the 2, and we do the same as always, where we're going to have a smart splitter that says first go out to do something productive with your life. But if you're full, you can go this side, right? And you're gonna go into that elevator and that elevator, which I'm sure you can guess what they do. They go into those 2 or something. So that will produce a bit more because it's 450, and yeah, again, as you can see, all green, perfect line of green. It's working 100%. So some of this iron will go over here to do the steel pipe, right? It's easy, it's that alternate recipe, but it's pretty easy. There's only one thing, then it goes here. The rest goes into this second factory there, which the goal is to make reinforced iron plates and rotors. So it is. We're gonna make some iron plates, we're gonna make some screws, gonna make some rods, right? And then all of those things are gonna go up here, up there, and up here. So let's go up 2. You can see those resources. 1 here, and well, the other 2 here and there. So yeah, it's organized nicely that the rod there plus a bit of the screws are going to make some rotors, and then the plate plus a bit more of the screws are gonna make these reinforced iron plate. So yeah, working on 100%, perfect, and it goes into this bus with the steel pipe, and then all the way back to our factory here. I haven't remade that part pretty, I'm sorry, but I feel like the rest is fine, but this part I still need to work on. We're getting close to, seeing exactly how much we're producing, but first I do need to show you exactly how we're super efficient with our uranium by using some alternate recipe. You can do it without. It would be basically the same concept. You're going to need most of the same resources, but this wouldn't be the most efficient one you've ever seen. So that would be a lie, against what I've said. So anyway, we're going to take, the resources we produce there, the resources there, the resources there, and start bringing them together. We have, for example, steel pipe and wire to make stators. This is those 4 over here. We have then 3 over here, taking stators and AI limiters. Now the AI limiters we're actually making over here. All right, this is a mini factory on the way. We're taking quick wire and copper sheet. You could do this also over there, but I decided just to put it in between. So yeah, we're making those AI limiters with copper sheet and quick wires. They go here and they replace basically the copper sheet on our bus. So then that goes down, right, to make some of those resources. So first the stators, then we said the electromagnetic control rod. If we press N and we do electromagnetic control rod, you will see that there is actually an alternate recipe. I think I did even find it in the man. Let me check quickly. I'm pretty sure I did, or at least I saw it and then maybe I re-rolled. Let's check it quickly. Here it is. So it is using the status 2, but instead of the AI limiter, right, it is using those high-speed connectors, which are a bit more complex to make, right, because they need the circuit board, which means you probably need oil. So that's why I didn't do this one. It doesn't change once more, you know, the efficiency of uranium. So again, that's why I didn't do it. Doesn't make sense. But yeah, we're making those electromagnetic control rod. They go over here, they go there, and as you can see, they go at the same place as our crystal oscillators, and actually they're going to go also very close to the silica. And there is also the sulfur. The sulfur is coming from here. Let me show you quickly. It is this miner here at the bottom, goes up into this elevator, right? And now we're starting to get into the radioactive level, right? My radioactive level, as you can see, is increasing very quickly. This is a place where you can't really avoid indeed some radioactivity, or you have to walk very far, but then you wouldn't see what I want to show you. You can see a lot of manufacturers. Actually, to be precise, it's 2 blocks of 6. We have 6 here and 6 there. And it actually starts there. You can see this is the uranium, right? So let me show you what this recipe is all about. We have uranium, silica, sulfur, and quick wire to make our in-case uranium cells. So if we go again just a bit far so that we don't use our iodine filter, we can check here, go into in-case uranium cell, and you will see that there is indeed 2 recipes. There is the basic one, which will use uranium, the concrete, and the sulfuric acid to make some in-case uranium cell and to make sulfuric acid. So there's a bit of a strange loop here with the sulfuric acid where you need it, but you produce it as byproduct. And then we have the new one, right? Infused uranium cell. Now this is better. That's it. It's better. This is better for 2 reasons. The first one is we don't have to deal with the sulfuric acid. We don't just deal with sulfur. But the main reason it's better is because of the ratio of uranium. Look at this. You're going to take 10 to make 5. Now you're going to take 5 to make 4. This is obviously a lot better, right? This is a lot better. So that is why we're selecting this one over here. Then the in case goes on top, back on top. We have the uranium in the middle. We also have quick wires, and then we have the in case on each side. They go here, and then they're going to go back down for the second pieces, the second block of manufacturers. That's going to take this in case in uranium cell, the electromagnetic control rod, the crystal oscillators, and rotors to make our uranium fuel rod. Now, again, this is an alternate recipe. This is why this is so efficient. Because if you look at this uranium fuel rod, sorry, this is the standard. We're going to use 50 of these uranium cells plus the in-case industrial beams and the rods to make this uranium fuel rod. But now we have this one here. Now it's more complex, and it was basically the same also for the in-case uranium cells, right? This was more complex. You need more things. You need also quick wires, for example, right? But it is better for the electricity output. So it's better, right? Because as I said again, instead of 50 making 1, you have 100 making 3. So definitely, again, it's better for your production of uranium fuel cell. The thing I do want to mention also over here while we're here, this whole thing, like I built the whole thing there, right? Multiple mini factories, and we have this one on top, we have this one there, the middle one, the copper, we have the small one for quick wires, not quick wires, quartz, sorry. We have the iron one, right? And then we have all of this together. All of these you can now boost with one simple thing. you go into the end manufacturer and you start putting some of those summer sloop, right? This is going to just boost your output without changing anything into any of the inputs. So you don't have to change any of the other factory, but this is going to boost this. So, I said this is the most efficient nuclear factory you've ever seen. The reality is it is not. It would be even more efficient to put a couple of summer sloops here, and you could basically double the production once more without changing anything. But already with this, to be very precise, we're making 3.6 uranium rod per minute, right? 3.6. So with 3.6, I mean, I do the same as always, where, over here we have, just in case, an awesome sink, but the reality is I think we're never going to get there. We have a small storage, and then it goes over here into this, where we have, I think by now you must have seen it or calculated it, we have 9 of these gigantic building, which is nuclear power plants, but it's not normal ones. They are boosted. They are boosted with 2 of the power shards. Why 2? Because with 2 you get to 200%. I will tell you in a second why I didn't put the third one. But basically with 2 we use 0.4 instead of 0.2. So this is why 9 makes 3.6. So this is exactly consuming exactly what we're producing, right? So I had a bit of reserve basically before starting. And each of them is making 5,000 megawatts, on its own without accounting for any of the bonuses. So spoiler alert indeed, we are producing now more than 68,000 megawatts. We moved from around 12,000 to 68,000. So we basically added 50,000, more than 50,000 right off the bat, right? To be very precise once more, right, we're talking about 9 times 5,000 for each of these. So it is actually 45,000 just with this. And then remember, we have the bonuses that comes with this strange energy amplifier, right, power augmenter. So this is how we're getting 10,000 on top, basically. And one very important element here is that while, for manufacturer, constructors, etc., when you start to overclock, you have an exponential growth of the energy consumption. So that's why, you may not want to do it. For these, it doesn't change anything. It's just linear growth of the production of energy and of the inputs, right? The water doubles, the uranium fuel rod doubles, but the output of electricity also doubles. So it's a no regret move in my opinion, especially now that we can create basically as many power shards as we want, both because with summer sloops you can duplicate or double, the output of power shards from slug, and also because you can create the synthetic ones, right? So I have tons of power shards. I think that was really a no regret move here to simplify it a bit without losing any efficiency. But yeah, this is those 9s. So we have over here the rods, they are really at the floor level. Now we are not going to go, I think, really in the middle because, it's huge radioactive level there. But I did create, some ways for you to see it. So we can check a bit over here, right? You can see it is, there is, all of these, they're really at level 0. And then at level 1 above, we're gonna have the water. We have the water over here that goes into these pipes. And then last but not least, let's actually go a bit close. I have health, it's fine. Let's go inside here. You will see here there is also this conveyor lift that goes down, right? Let's go away, we're gonna die. So if we go down, you will see there is another level, which is for the waste. We're creating tons of waste, and this waste goes all the way here into, for now, these storages. In the future, we're going to need to do something with it, obviously, but for now, it just goes into the storages. In terms of the water, it all comes from here. Now, we have one pipe per, one pipe for each of these. All right? We need actually 480 per minute for each of these. I didn't go and put the third one, because if you put the third one, you go all the way to 600. And you may remember that there's sometimes a bit, like the fluids are always a bit difficult to manage. So I didn't want to go all the way to 600. I just went, to that number, and it works well. It makes, all of the math also pretty easy. So anyway, we have over here all of the water. It's crazy how the radiation is still over here. Basically, we have a pair of 2 of these is one pipe. 2 of these for one pipe, 2 of these for one pipe, 2 of these, etc. And there is a bit of a mess here, but it goes, all the way up into these. We have, of course, a lot of these pumps, right? Because otherwise we'll never get there. But it goes all the way up, and then again, it's one pipe for each. Obviously, my consumption of electricity has also increased a bit. I think we were around like 12,000, right? And now we are at 15,000 because of all of those factories. But this is nothing compared to what we have now, 68,000. And also remember that with a couple of summer sloops, I could double this, right? We could get well above 100,000 easily. So that would be pretty cool. Right now, this is a bit overkill, right? I don't really need all of these. I could totally pause a couple of these. This would reduce the amount of waste I create, because right now we cannot do anything with this waste. We cannot send it into an awesome sink, and we cannot transform it into something else for now, because we will definitely be able to do something with it. And this is why this is nuclear guide part 1. This is the uranium part of nuclear. There is after uranium, plutonium, and after plutonium, there is also a new part. This was not available in the early access, but now with version 1, we have a third part for nuclear, which will really enable us to go even further. It really took many hours for me to create this mega nuclear factory, so please smash the like button, take a second to write a comment, and now let's talk about what's next. Now that we have tons of energy, we can move to the next stage. We can move to finishing tier 8. We have, for example, over here, advanced aluminum production, which is going to give us access to gases. This is something completely new, right? It's a bit like water, but doesn't work exactly the same. It's going to come with a new type of miner, it's going to come with new challenges and definitely new things we need to automate, like heat sinks, cooling system, and fuse modular frame. Then we have leading edge production, which will give us the turbo motor, also something quite important to automate, and miner Mark 3, final miner, at least for now in the game, right? That can produce definitely tons more, and that could also boost, by the way, our uranium production if we wanted, but we would have to also expand all the other things, right? Versus with summer sloops, you can just increase the production. And last but not least, we have the particle enrichment, which is where we're going to be able to start transforming, the waste into something else, either into non-fissile uranium and then plutonium, basically cells, pellets, and rods, which you can either put into more production of energy, or you can sink. You do have to go all the way to this to sink it, but you can if you want. This will also require this will open us to a new building, the particle accelerator, which uses tons of energy. And remember, this is not the end, right? After this, we need to do phase 4, right? We have 4 materials for phase 4, including the nuclear pasta. That is a pretty interesting one with this building I just mentioned. And with that, this will open the whole brand new tier 9, right? Phase 4, finishing phase 4, open tier 9, which will come with tons of new things for us to discover together. So there's definitely still a couple of episodes and guides that are remaining into this series. I hope you're enjoying it. Again, please smash the like button, and I hope to see you next time.